Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
Hey man, so I just got one question. Like,
What's up?
where y'all been at?
Hey man, like Hollywood, man, we had to end the first season, man. Hollywood now doing just only 10 episodes. We gave them what, 28? So we had to take a
I'm
break
like that.
so we can come back, man. So we had to get ourselves together. There's a lot of things that's going on, in the world and then family wise for everybody. So it was just a good time for us to just step back, let it breathe for a little bit, take some little time to ourselves to really focus on our families, and stay safe out here. There's still this whole pandemic that's going on. Shout outs to 2020, just killing it out here.
Man.
But yeah, man, that's just about it, man. We just been out here low key, getting ourselves together, trying to get ready for this season 2. Promise is gonna be better than season 1, and we're just gonna keep building on it, man. So that's my take from it. See, Wiz, what about you, man? Welcome to season 2, brother.
Season 2, man. Same here, man. Just been in the bat cave, just trying to, for one, stay healthy, and trying to finish the year out strong. I mean, I can't believe it's already mid-October, and before you know it, 2020 will be over, and hopefully 2021 be better, way better than this year. But still thankful and grateful because luckily it hasn't hit me bad as far as the virus. I haven't had it or anything, but still, man, it's affecting a lot of families. So you just got to be safe, try to stay safe as possible.
Right. Yeah, man, I hear that. Just to reciprocate what y'all said, season 2 is upon the horizon. We really enjoyed the things that we did in season 1, and honestly, not knowing how things were gonna go. We started this podcast as an idea, and it kind of took a mind of its own. And so, in the middle of that, we had to start planning. Like, well, hey, what's the next steps? You know what I mean? And so, naturally, those next steps, we're able to do some super cool and exciting things that we're anxious to talk about. And when the time comes, we'll definitely talk about those things. But yeah, season 2, and with this being the first episode, just to kind of play catch up with what's been going on in the world, like Tori said, the pandemic is still going. It doesn't even look like it's gonna be finished anytime soon. Like, of course, parts of the world are opening back up, but we in it, man. We really in this thing. So it's all about really adjusting and figuring out, how to really like coexist with what's going on and adjusting this is like the new norm. So you really got to adjust everything to go along with it. So.
Right.
Yeah, man.
One thing we can all here celebrate is that, our team brought home the championship this year. Shout out to the Lakers.
Yes, sir.
We knew they was gonna do it. We knew it. So we just
the first time that we've all been aligned, like me, Tori, Corey, we all LeBron fans, and the rest of the crew pretty much Laker fans. And hey, we finally merged, man, and we had some real synergy going.
I know, all year. I mean, we went we was all on the same team. Like,
right. Yeah. The only thing that COVID messed up, we couldn't, we would have been at the bar at somebody's crib watching the game, but with things going on, we just had to, it was all about group me and having messages back and forth during the games and everything. But besides that, hey, you have to take it as best you can get it.
Right. I definitely miss that. That's the part that I miss, man, just being able to like really like hang with the fellas for real. So, but like I said, it's a new norm, so you kind of got to work your way around it. But yeah, man, unfortunately, my team, the Bravos, man, we were close, but no cigar.
I mean, real close, man.
Real close. Blew a 3-1 lead. You know, almost made it to the World Series, but I took promise in knowing that we have a very young team, and we have a lot of people that were injured this year that are going to be healthy, and I think we legit got a shot to make a run with this thing for the next couple of years. So I was just happy that it happened in the championship series and not the World Series, because if we would have blew a 3-1 lead in the World Series, bro, it might not have been a season 2 with me on it. I would have needed a little break.
Yeah, man, I felt a little of that hurt, man. Like, I mean, I'm a big Falcons fan, and that 28-3 blown Super Bowl on my birthday, I'll never forget it. The hurt, like it's a different type of hurt, like a hurt that I know I'm not a player, I'm not an owner, but just being a fan and you that close to winning it all. And it's like every time when UGA blew it against Alabama a couple years ago in the national championship game, the same type of hurt. When I'm watching the Braves, I'm like, man, I know the Falcons just won their first game, but I would trade that win today for the Braves to win.
Man.
Yeah,
and that's crazy because the Falcons won and everybody else lost. UGA lost against Alabama, Braves lost against LA. It was like, man, Falcons, y'all need to do one more week.
I know, right?
We needed y'all to sacrifice one more week, bro.
Yeah, they took the energy and took the good fortune, man.
That's why I don't even want to hear somebody talk about baseball. I don't want to hear about it. I don't even care anymore. It's just man, it sucked. But that's the price you pay of being a sports fan. It's you win some, you lose some. It'll be that much sweeter when you actually do win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, fellas, this is Black Men Think, right? So, let's hit the topic. We're gonna have, this episode really just focus on the elephant in the room. We got the elections coming up. So first and foremost, we want to encourage all of our listeners to go out and vote. I don't care who you're voting for. I do care, but
right.
But the more important thing is that you at least get out and vote and make sure that your voice is heard. Too many people have died to get this right for us to vote. So please get out and make sure your voice is heard, no matter who you vote for. But with that being said, guys, as Black men, what are the issues and things that are top 2-3 priorities for you as you guys are looking at who you want to elect, to represent you guys? First of all, I think we all have voted, so let's go ahead and make sure that we
we've all
early voted. So
early voted.
We don't just talk about it, we build about it. But with that being said, what are the things that you guys that are really interesting to you guys as far as from an elected official perspective that you guys are looking for while you was in there voting? We'll start with you, JD.
Man, what I need, honestly, bro, is transparency, number one, which I know is very hard to get in politics, but transparency is definitely something. And I need to know what the plan is to help my people, right? I know that we all are here together, you know what I mean? And you got Black, white people, Hispanic, all of that. I truly understand that. But I really need to know, what are you going to do for the Black and brown communities? And not just the sugar-coated thing, like really the details. I need to know the details. And while I understand that this is politics and all you can do is kind of try to implement a policy, I just need for it to at least have some meaningful thought. And also with all of that, I need people in the room. Like, I need us in the room. And I think that that's what's really missing, honestly. It's just we're not in the room. And so, I'll wait for Corey to answer that question as well. But there is something that I just wanted to share, man. Like, I've had these conversations with different people in different places in their lives. And, some people say that they don't want to vote. Some people say, like, the system is not built for us, so why vote? And I mean, I understand a lot of that. You know what I mean? But for me, my main thing is if you're gonna live in this system, you kind of gotta operate how this system works. Like if
Right.
you're not gonna, like if you want to live off the grid, hey, I feel you. Don't vote. Like farm, do all this stuff. All tear up your social security card and all of that. If you're gonna live that, and I'm saying that like tongue in cheek, of course people not gonna do that. But if you're gonna live here and collect your paycheck first and 15, you kind of gotta know what's going on in this world. And it's just it's always I'm always curious when I hear people that say that they don't want to vote, but they also go to work every day and get a paycheck. And it's like, but it can't be one way or the other. Like you either gonna play by the rules in the system or you just gonna completely go away from the system. But that in between, you can't really do that hopping over the fence like that. So I mean, that's just where I'm at with it, man. Transparency and I need to know what are your real plans to do for me and my people.
Gotcha. See, Wiz, what about you, man?
Yeah, I agree with that, man. But first, I want to say, as far as voting, like if you live in, I guess it's Fulton County. I don't know what other counties are included, but State Farm Arena. I went and voted there last Friday, and I mean it's free parking. They had a shuttle. I don't know if the shuttle is every day, but they had a shuttle, but it's like a golf cart, take you over from the parking deck to the arena. You go in and vote, smooth process. You come out, the golf cart take you back to your car. I mean, I don't know how easier that they can make it, unless people just start pulling up to your front door to let you vote. I mean, I don't know if it would come to that point, but yeah, State Farm Arena is no excuse. If you taking the time to go to a basketball game or concert or this, that, and the other, there's no reason why you can't go to State Farm Arena to vote or any other place to vote. But to piggyback on what JD said, yeah, definitely transparency, because it's like, I mean, I don't know, is maybe when I was younger or coming up, I didn't really see or maybe my eyes weren't open to the racial racial inequality that we see now. I mean, I don't know if it's because of the current administration or I pay more attention to things that go around me, that happens around me. But it's just we definitely need the right people in office that's going to look out for Black people, because it's like it doesn't seem like it's getting any better, especially with the whole police brutality thing. I think that's something that probably need to start at the top and need to trickle down to governments within the states, because it's like these things that are happening, it's happening to us over and over. And if we don't have the right people in office, starting in DC, then it's like it's not going to continue to get any better. But we definitely need to have that transparency, as JD said. That's really important. But we really just the things that we've seen over the last couple of years, it just things got to change. They got to go in a different direction for us.
No, I think you both have hit on some great points. And, myself being a student of politics and, worked in it myself for a few years, I think one of the issues is that for so long we haven't been a part of the actual process. And I think to JD's point, we always, it's easy to say, oh, it's not, the system not built for us and things of that nature. But I think the real key part is if you don't participate in it, the system can never get fixed, right? So,
Bingo.
there's nothing that's perfect, and I'll be the first one to say it's not perfect. But if we don't have individuals like us at the table to either have those discussions and to point out the inefficiencies in the system, then the system gonna keep operating like it's designed to operate, right? So I definitely agree that you really have to be intentional about what you want, right? You have to voice the things that you want and desire, and that's why when the old people used to always tell us growing up, if your voice is never heard, you can't blame nobody but yourself. So that's really what it is. You know, we have to take a little bit of personal responsibility to ensure that we're participating in the process to help move the needle. And then I think it's just also, you know, traditionally we well, not even traditional, but we just also need to go out in larger numbers, right? You know, we got to have more voices from our communities in there to move the needle. Um, and Corey, I think you're spot on. Like, I think that especially when you're talking about criminal justice reform and police reform and things of that nature, I think that that definitely is a conversation that need to happen at the national level that will then provide the opportunity for the various states and local governments to also to talk about that and start moving the ball forward on that. Because there are certain things that the federal government can do to help incentivize those discussions, right? Whether it's providing funding for different policing models and things of that nature to, you know, hey, saying, you know, let's have this platform to where if there's abuse by officers is kept at a national level, whatever the case might be. I'm not saying that that's the direction we should or should not take, but I agree that at least you got to have somebody that's willing to at least have the conversation as opposed to saying, oh, we're just going to keep the streets safe. What does that even mean? You know, what's that process? What are the steps to doing that? And there are so many different ways and ideas that you can utilize to keep the streets safe. So, you know, like JD said, really having that plan that's articulated out and make sure that it's addressing the concerns of our communities. So I think you're spot on that.
You know, another piece of that too. And I mean, we've had these conversations, and I think a lot of times what what gets missed is, of course, November 3rd, the marketing says vote for the president. So that's what people are thinking about. They're only thinking about Trump and Biden, but man, there are so many other things that's on the ballot, bro, like senators and, you know, depending on where you are, like you can go and download a sample ballot and see what would be on your ballot depending on your county. But I mean, there are so many things that's on that ballot that's not just the president of the United States that really, in my personal opinion, are more important to the individual. You know what I mean? Especially on a more local level than, you know, United States itself as a president. And so, you know, I invite everybody to at least look at a sample ballot. You can go to just about any. I mean, you can Google is your friend. You can go and type in sample ballot and whatever county you stay in, and they'll bring up the website. You can click on it's a PDF, and it might show you the entire state ballot, I think is what it does, but you just look for your county and you'll be able to see what you'll be voting for specifically.
Website for Georgia, that's the official sample ballot.
Yeah, but that's for Georgia. But you know, if you're in California,
I think
you know,
it's
if you're in New York,
state is responsible for the running of elections. So just go to your various secretaries of the state,
yep,
and have it, or either whatever your local election official's office is. Just go there. But I think you're spot on. I think in certain aspects, you know, the presidential election is the least important, but it's usually the most focused one.
mm-hmm.
Because when you talk about on the day-to-day level, the individuals that have more of an impact on you are going to be those local representatives. So whether it's your city council members, your sheriffs. So when you talk about police reform, those are the people that you need to be looking at: your local city council, your local mayors, your local sheriff's department. If you elect your police chief as well, like those are the ones that you need to focus on. And then you just go up to the state level. You need to also take a look at the attorney general for your state, because that's the person that has to prosecute a lot of these crimes and things. So you really need to almost flip how the points we put in and look at local up as opposed to down. Down. But you know, at certain situations and certain points in life, the presidential election does become monumental because there's certain things that are on the table at the time that do impact everybody, and so you know, it really is a balance. But I totally agree with you. 9 times out of 10 is usually the local leaders are really the ones that have the more impact on individual lives on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I was talking to a young dude. He's younger than me, so he's a young dude. He's like 20, 24, 25. And, we were just having that conversation on, like, why should I vote? And, it was at a point where I realized that, oh, there's a disconnect because I'm sure when I was in that, our college years, voting was not the top priority. I wasn't thinking about it at all. Did I vote? Yes, because it just so happened that we had, an opportunity for our first black president. So we thought about it a little bit and, a little bit more than the average person would have thought about it, I would say. But, well, no, actually, that was after college. Obama was 08.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was after college. But so in college, I probably wasn't thinking about it, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Just being real. But, so I try to keep that in mind when I talk to people because it's so easy to forget where you were in your life compared to where you are now. You know what I mean? Like as mid 30-year-olds, of course, those things are at the top of our head now because we got families, we got people that depend on us and things of that nature. So, but I was having this conversation with this dude and his mentality was like, man, president ain't gonna do nothing for me and all of this and all that. And I found this song. I never forget, me and my wife, this was when outside was still open, but we do this thing on Tuesdays where we support like a black business. So we was at Slutty Vegan and we were just eating in the car actually. And this song came on. And when the song came on, like we just kind of caught like the tail end of it. But this dude was like breaking down everything. He was breaking down the voting. He was breaking down like the branches of the government and everything. And it's just like it was eye opening because it was a young dude talking about things, and I was like, man, this would be dope.
Oh, you talking about that rap, right?
The rap dude, Yellow Pain is his name.
Yeah, that's why. So that actually was a video made for one of my friends who was actually running for Congress in Ohio.
Dope.
Because she was actually featured in that video. She was the lady, the young lady that was talking in the video. Toward, I think it was at the end of it, but yeah,
toward the end of it. Yeah, man. But I'm like that to me. I mean, of course, it caught my attention, but that's how you get the youth's attention because the song is very unique, number one, but it's like such an educational record. Like you learn so many things. And I was like, okay, that's the way you can grab somebody's attention because he's coming from a perspective of like, no, I know we think exactly alike, but like here's another way. Let me give you this to listen to. And right. So, I try to challenge anybody who have somebody like maybe under 30 in their life, like send them the video, man. Go on YouTube and send them the link. It was like, hey, just watch this and give me your opinion on it. Right. And at least you can give them some valid information that may be able to spark their mind to go and do something, do something else. But right. Yeah, man,
I think you're spot on. It's not only with the education of it to really educate voters and things of that nature. I think it's also instead of just only focusing on individuals when it's election time, having that continuous or iterative process to where that there's that ongoing engagement and communication on a 365 basis. I think that's right. That's how you change people's mind and increase participation by investing into it more often than just, oh, it's election time now. I gotta politic, as people like to call it, to get elected again. If you have that continuous engagement, I think it becomes a lot easier.
Right.
You don't have to do so as such a heavy lift as well. But
yeah, but
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, thinking about my early 20s or when I became of age to vote, like I probably didn't start voting until, man, I don't know, maybe late 20s, early 30s. So yeah, I can see where they're coming from. Why vote or this, that, and the other. But I think now too, especially in 2020, it's been more there's been more marketing going on about voting, because you're seeing
Yes.
it. I mean, I don't check my mailbox often, but I checked it today, and about first time in about 2 weeks, and it's probably about 75% of the stuff in there was about voting.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get, I don't know how many text messages throughout the day about, hey, this is such and such, just seeing if you voted. Yeah. so the marketing has been on point. Like, if you don't know anything, you know something about voting. Like, have you voted? I mean, that's the question, but the marketing has been on point.
Yeah, I
Just,
agree.
just being aware about voting.
No,
Like, there's no way for you to know that an election is not coming up, bro. I literally receive at least 3 to 5 text messages a day about voting or donating or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so ain't no excuse, bro. And I'm sure those are going to increase as we get closer to the election.
man,
Yeah.
I was just only receiving 5, man. No lie, I probably receive at least 30 text messages a day, and I probably get about 80 to 100 emails a day from various
Man.
things talking about,
Yeah.
man, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I
But
got one a couple.
though.
Yeah, I got one a couple of days ago. He said, "Hey, this is such and such. I see that you voted. Can you promise me, or not promise me? Can you tell me that you can you respond and say that you'll tell 3 other people, family and friends to vote?" I'm like, man, y'all love it, man.
They own
In
it.
the beginning, I was like, man, I'm tired of this. But I was like, you know what? If this is what it takes, it's all good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna sweat it because it's important to get out and at
Yeah.
least catch your vote.
Right.
Yeah.
We still got, we definitely got to the next question for the throw out here. Y'all know we had to cover it. Over the last 48 hours, 72 hours, there's been 2 rap stars that have been involved in some of these controversial comments that they made and some of their choice words that they're doing as a part of the 2020 election. So, we can't shy away from it. So let's start off. What's up with your boy Fitty, JD?
So I'm gonna be fair. I haven't done all of the research, but I did do a little bit of digging, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with 50, it's layered, in my honest opinion, because if you're not new to 50, it's easy to get it kind of misconstrued, because like 50 do this, that's what his social media is. Like, he trolls constantly on his social media, like, for real. But I think there was some truth in his trolling. So I'm looking at his post. I'm on his IG now. So I think the one post that really got people tight the most was like, he was like, "What the F? Vote for Trump. I'm out. F New York. Knicks never win anyway. Don't care. Trump don't like black people. 62%. Y'all out y'all effing mind, right?" So what he was essentially talking about is the Biden's tax plan. Basically, is saying that he's going to tax the higher rate. Basically, if you make X amount of dollars, I do not know that number. Sorry, I think it's 400,000, but I could be wrong. But if you make over $400,000,
family that makes 400,000. Individuals might be a little bit lower, but I'm a little fuzzy on the numbers. I can't remember them off the top of my head either.
So once you hit that number, you're saying you'll be taxed at. And for New York City, the number was 62%, and so 50 being 50, basically saying like, no, bro, like, it's coming from a money perspective. He looking at like, I'm not trying to be taxed 62%. Vote for Trump. So, like I said, there's truth in what he said. I'm not trying to discredit that at all.
He in Connecticut? Doesn't he live in Connecticut?
Now? No, I think he used to live in Connecticut, but I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I honestly don't know for sure. And so the other post that came after that was him saying, "I just remembered I'm bankrupt, so I'm looking for a gracious loan. Can anyone help a brother out?" So it's like, you know what I mean? It's him going back and forth with the troll. But I will say this. I personally think there was a lot of truth in what he said. His truth, like, he don't want to be taxed, so he saying vote for Trump. But I also know that he does this, and that's who 50 is. So, but ultimately, I just think that it's something that you don't want to do right now, because people are looking at you and it can misguide people. It can sway people, right? Because the truth is, the people that are following 50 Cent probably ain't close to making nowhere near $400,000. And
Right.
so that don't affect, the 62% don't affect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you
But by the
know,
way he portrayed it, they could be thinking, "Oh, wait, I'm gonna get."
that's the way. And that the messaging looks like, oh man, 62%. I don't want to be taxed 62%, man. I make $60,000 a year. I don't want to buy, you know what I mean? And so that's the thing, because it's misguided and misinformed information. It's so easy to sway people who might be on the fence, who haven't really did the proper education. So that's, I think ultimately that's what the problem is, because even if he's joking or not joking, which we'll never know because we don't know who he is, you know what I'm saying? It's still misguided information. And I think that's the core of the problem, personally.
No, and I think you hit on. I think my biggest thing about it too was that, first of all, he's a grown man. He has his belief, whatever those beliefs are. But I think we as people who have a platform, we have to be careful on how we're presenting the information and ensure that we're not giving out misinformation or misguiding people about the information.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be as sensitive to putting out facts as possible, right? So that's my only thing about that situation at all was like, hey, what are you actually spitting? Make sure let's not misguide people. Yeah, you can have your own opinion, have no problem with it. Do you?
Right.
But
Yeah.
we do have a responsibility as well.
And it's the timing too. It's like, man, we're like two weeks away, and this come out, and it's gonna hit headlines. Somebody sent it to me, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, and that's the first thing the headline is gonna say, and you like, man, like that can be, you can ball down to be a game changer. I mean, you can, like you say, sway a lot of people to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna vote, this way or that way, and but it's just, I mean, it's one of those things, man. That platform is definitely important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's definitely important.
what about the other one? What about Q?
Q. I mean, honestly, man, it comes down to, I just think is, of course, the timing is one thing, because I forgot, I was listening to a podcast and I can't remember which one I was listening to, but they brought up a good point. And they was saying, man, that the real problem with what Cube had going on is that the reality is nothing is changing in 14 days, or nothing is changing in these next, these couple of weeks. Regardless of who you sit down with, nothing is going to change in their plan that will be implemented within these 14 days or whatever, right? And so, or these, 2 to 3 weeks. And so the problem is, once again, you pushing a misguided narrative. Whether like, and to my core, I really believe that Ice Cube is trying to do right. I really believe that. I mean, it's still within that wanting to do right. There's still some selfish parts in it,
Right.
and that can't be denied. Like, bro, once we all hit a certain amount of status, and when I say status, I mean bank account, you have to think differently, and that's the reality of where the world is. I don't know what it means to be taxed at a 62% rate. I have no clue about what that is. But if I did, maybe I would be like, well, hold on, let's have a more detailed conversation. It might not sway my vote, but I might be a little more inclined to say like, well, let's really talk about what this means for me and my family and everybody else around me. But with Q, I think he has a plan that he believes will be helpful. But like I said, I go back to what I said earlier. The truth is, it's not going to change within these couple of weeks up to an election. And so, regardless of one side wanting to sit down with you and the other side saying, "Hey, let's wait after the election," I think both sides are right with that. I think both sides had a valid point. One side said, "Oh no, let's sit down and talk about it." But the one thing that you have to be mindful of, And we, like I said, you're grown men, women, y'all make your own decision on who y'all want to vote for. But what is facts is that Trump will use any and everything he can to sway people's opinion. And so I don't know if y'all saw it when this news came out with Cube and and 50 Cent basically saying they were going. I mean, the online narrative is that they vote for Trump. Neither one of them have like officially stamped Trump, like as far as who. Well, Cube never officially stamped it. 50 Cent jokingly said, you know, vote for Trump, right? But they found a picture where Ice Cube and 50 Cent was at a Big Three basketball game, sitting side by side, and they changed it to make it say like Trump for America. They both had hats on, and they photoshopped it where it said both of them had the hats. And Eric Trump actually posted that picture, right? And was just like, you know, I forgot
Great
what the
Americans
caption
or something
said.
like that. He said like Great Americans or something like that.
Yeah, welcome to the team, Great Americans, and that's the stuff that we're talking about. Because Ice Cube later went and said like, no, that's not a real picture, and he debunked that wasn't real. But that's the type of things that are happening. You know, they're taking these small little bits and pieces of information and they're trying to help push the narrative. And it's like, if you don't know any better, you can easily get caught up with it. And now you start to see it. And if you are one of those people that may have been on the fence, and you know, if 50 Cent and Ice Cube are your favorite rappers, well, your mind is made up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of where we are, bro. Like, we can't act like people are not influenced by people, celebrities. Like, it is what it is. This is real life. You know what I mean?
Where did they get the 62% from? I don't know if I've ever heard the actual number that is going to be taxed at, but here or there. But I haven't heard 62%. But
I know it was some kind of chart. Yeah, it was some kind of chart on the Instagram post, but I don't know where. I mean, I haven't heard of 62% either until now. I'm sure everybody
but also
know about.
That was according to this graphic. Like I don't know that number to be certain as well, but according to that graphic, that is for New York City. New York State is 58%.
Well, that's a state. That's not the.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know that, and that's the thing that I be talking about, bro. Because the way this world is set up now, things move so fast with social media that people can post stuff, and in a matter of 20,000 retweets, it becomes truth without anybody doing any major fact checking. And it's like, that's why we have to be so careful, because it hurts on both sides. One side can push a narrative, and the other side, they can completely debunk the narrative. But if no one is checking to see if any part of it is true, it ends up hurting everybody, because it's just misguided information that's being put out there. So you have to be careful and actually do the research, man, and just find out for yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know, you'll be stuck out here, bro. You stuck trying to figure out something, and you going off of what somebody said, and it could be completely wrong the entire time.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it's both situations. I'm like, man, it's why didn't we hear about this stuff early in the year, or why is it crunch time a couple of weeks before the election and now we starting to hear all this stuff? But I mean, that's how it is. I mean, it's everyone. Someone is looking for that edge, and just like they're using a picture with them sitting beside each other, like, and you're gonna use it as a marketing tool and put it on the internet, and now it's gone viral, and that's what people see.
You just have to be careful with stuff out there. I was just looking at taxfoundation.org, on Biden's tax plan. And I still don't see that 67% number. Once again, now it makes sense that you said that was more of New York State. And so it looked like under the federal law.
Actually, I see something, Tor. I'm looking right now. Taxfoundation.org, they have top tax rates under Biden plan.
Yeah. It looked like it'd be 39%. So that's still not 67%. Look like it's 39.6. But
Yeah.
what we'll do, we'll get deeper into the number for you guys in a later episode.
Right.
Come back and talk to you. But we still want to make sure that we was responsible, and as Black Men Think, we let you know what the Black men are thinking on this podcast about the upcoming. So
ultimately, do your research. It's the
you have to do your research, man. Don't just believe what anybody tells you. Do your own research. Go read the actual plans. That's not just at the presidential level. That's at your state representative, your city. Read what they actually stand for. Get their voting records. I mean, do all of that. All of that information is public records, and it's yours as a citizen to have access to understand who you're voting for and what they're dealing with, man. But hey, that's all the questions I have for tonight, guys. It's great to be back in the building. It's great to be recording again. JD, C-Wiz, is there anything else you guys want to cover on this season 2, episode 1, season premiere episode?
Yeah, I got something. Hold on here. Let me get to it.
Well, while you waiting, man, I just got one thing to say is just get out and vote. I know I'm not really present on social media like that, but this is about the closest you're gonna get. But yeah, definitely get out and vote.
Yeah, man. Vote and do your research. Do your Googles, as they would say. I'm trying to pull it up, man. Where is it at? I know I got it. I got it somewhere. Let's see.
And then also, JD, do we have like any comments? That have been.
Well, that's what I was pulling up. So I'm gonna shout this person out. This is Toomey Runs on IG. It's TUMIRUNZ. So we'll shout him out. He said, "Hey gents, I'm all the way from South Africa. I found your podcast while searching for Black male voices who speak positively and with wisdom. I typed Black men on Stitcher and I sampled so many until I found your podcast. And man, y'all are really blessing it. Y'all are really such a blessing, excuse me. It's not easy finding content produced by masculine yet respectful and honorable Black dudes. And I'm sure they're out there, but I'm glad I stumbled upon y'all. Hope y'all guys are just on a hiatus and that more episodes will drop soon." So A. Sanders, sincerely a young man looking up. So hey bro, thank you for that comment. And yeah, we back, man. We back. So when people notice that we are on a brief hiatus, it's that extra fuel for us to know that we got to keep going and we doing something positive. So thank you for the kind words, bro. That's really heartfelt information.
Definitely. And guys, just continue to stick with us. We've learned a lot from season 1 as we're now moving into season 2. We're looking to make some improvements, and we're looking to keep moving this brand forward, as a community, because we know that this is a very niche community, and we want to make sure that we're representing it to the fullest and making you guys proud. So, this is just as necessary for us as it is for you guys. So please continue to keep listening, liking, subscribing to everything, and just keep listening to the Black Men Think podcast. We're here. We're here for the culture, and we're gonna make sure that we represent it to the fullest, man. So, thank you guys for being the big supporters, and thank you for riding with us. Until next time. Peace.
Yep.
Out.
The Black Men Think podcast.